Hello everybody, welcome to University Challenge. I'd like to start off by asking everybody who's joining this to say who you are.
Hello, I'm Kieran Hodgers.
I'm Louise Walwyn.
Joshua Valmarty.
Nikki Norton-Chaffal.
My name is Alan Cliff.
I'm David Murray.
And they've been wonderfully brave about agreeing to be in this workshop that I'm trying to run. The workshop's called Getting Started and Creating Theatrical Characters, all in 2 hours. Whether that's going to be possible or not, I don't know. But let me talk about what I think we're going to do. We might veer off if we get some excitement in another area, but here's my intention, is I'm going to talk about what I think playwriting is, first of all, and then I'm going to ask you to do a thing which might seem strange, but I'll take you very carefully through it, and it's not scary and frightening at all, because I want to generate something. Then I'm going to ask you to do 2 pieces of writing. One is a sort of follow-on from the other. The first one's one thing, the second one's another, and then we're going to have a look at what we've created and see how that works. Is that clear? Okay, so to begin, I always do this rather dreary talk about the spelling of playwright. It's play first of all, so we're sort of going to play, and it's write, W-R-I-G-H-T, and I feel very comfortable that the only words that have that spelling at the end are shipwright, arkwright, wheelwright, plowright. Have I missed any out? Cartwright. But what they're all about, making vehicles that carry things. And I feel much more comfortable thinking of myself as making a structure that carries lighting, design, everything, rather than thinking, oh, it's a novel or it's poetry, sort of. But I like the fact that I'm thinking, okay, I'm making this glorious ship of air that is going to carry people, including the audience. So what I'm suggesting we do now is those people like cartwrights and wheelwrights, they had these old-fashioned guilds where they made not a whole ship immediately, not a whole wheel, but they made a little apprentice piece. So that's what we're going to do, is make one of those and then look at it and see if we can expand it or if we can do something with it. Is that clear? Okay, so this is how I think I write. This is how I think I get started, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is the spooky thing. So I'm going to ask you to listen to me, but don't do it immediately. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and for a minute, I'm going to ask you to think about something, and I'm going to time you, and then I'm going to say, open your eyes, and you'll see that you're ever so safe still. And then I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and I'll give you another instruction for a minute. Everybody prepared to do that, yeah? And all I want you to do is kind of observe what goes on in your brain, okay? So, we're ready to go? All right, close your eyes, and when I say go the next time, what I want you to do is spend a minute thinking about a white elephant. Go. And stop and open your eyes and remember what happened, okay? Talk about terrific television. And now I want you to, in a second, close your eyes and I'll give you another instruction, okay? Okay, so close your eyes and this time you can think about anything at all, but don't think about a white elephant. Go. And stop and open your eyes. Okay. Interesting? Okay. Who wants to go first? First of all, just tell me about your white elephant, Kieran. Okay, now this is an exercise that a playwright called Stephen Lowe told me about, and I use it all the time because I think it's brilliant. And he got it himself from, he says, it may not be true, but it's a lovely story, that Tolstoy used to do it every morning before he started writing, only of course he did a white bear, and he would banish it immediately. He'd think about a white bear and then he'd banish it. And when he banished it, he'd be ready to start writing. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But what I think it is, it's wonderful to me is that I don't know any of you, but immediately I see into your brains, and in a minute, it is amazing how much work you do, that immediately you start adding other colour, you start doing locations, you start doing, like you did in your second minute, backstory. And, you know, there's plot, there's lighting, there's location, there's everything in there that makes you an original voice, and it's in there. And I always try and start with some version of this to kind of get to a point where it's my voice that's coming through. Because I think we're always talking as playwrights about finding our voice. And I think there's always, you know, immediately you see that it's very individual. And, you know, if I asked you to go further, those would have very particular things. You know, some of you did texture. I mixed out texture. So we start every time we start writing as authentic, original vision. And it's sort of gorgeous. It's sort of gorgeous watching the inside of your heads. And what I'd encourage you to do, and I'd ask you if you have things like this, is it's sort of like a little meditation. And most mornings, because I only work in the mornings, I try and do something that's that kind of lets me know what state I'm in. I mean, I do one where I see what a creaky old bird I am, you know, and then I think about physicality, but and then I'm ready to go. Any of you got a similar kind of routine? I think as much as you can mix it around, it's good, because to go back to my first thing, that it's play, is I really do an awful lot of trying to give myself a good game to play, and I'm going to give you a good game in a minute to try yourself. And something, sorry, what I forgot to say was about the disobedience of the brain is that, you know, a lot of the time you resisted what I told you, and it's quite good to pay attention to what isn't going away of your head, because that'll be the bit you might be connecting with your emotions that you're going to use, or your particular thing that's jerking your chain. And when you put it with a story, it kind of gets interesting and sets fire to it. Any questions so far? Shall we start the first thing? Okay. I'm making something, I'm going to get you to make something in 2 stages, and then we're going to look at it and see how it gets us. So this is like a game of cards, isn't it? I've got 6 things here. Can you take one but not turn it over yet? Okay. Choose a card, any card. Okay, and put them down, and turn them over. So going from this end, David, what have you got?
Emotion.
Okay.
Sight.
Smell.
Taste.
Hearing. Touch.
Touch. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is, this is the first part, which is sort of the research. I want you to do me a journey from the first moment you were conscious this morning, in whatever your instruction is. So what's your smell? So Nikki, the very first smell you were aware of. What I want you all to do is to do a journey, and it's just a list. So, you know, it might be, if you've got hearing, it might be, for me, radio 4, wind, toilet, and just keep it as simple as possible. But can you see how long it takes you to get it, and try and remember everything, and start from the moment of first consciousness this morning until you're sitting here in this University Challenge arrangement. Okay? And I'm going to give you 10 minutes, so we should take a pause here, yeah? From live streaming. Welcome back, everybody. These 6 have been writing very, very hard. I've just been given a cup of black coffee. So we're back in writing world. Okay, stop what you're doing. Now what we're going to do is listen. These are the first stage of what we're going to do with this piece we're making, this apprentice piece. This is 6 journeys, really simple, from the moment of consciousness until we're sitting at this table. Did everybody get here? Next thing, can I have all my little cards back? And I'm going to shuffle them, and I'm going to let these people have the first go. Just choose, and if you've had one of them, the same one, put it back. Okay.
Same one.
Who shuffled these cards? You know.
Very good.
Go ahead.
Okay, and turn them over. Okay, now that was, you can actually recall that because that happened to you, right? Now I'm going to push you to do the next thing, which is okay, this is the scenario. So I suggest you write this down so you can keep referring to it. And I'm going to give you this, and then I'm going to say, are you okay with writing about this? And tell me if you will try it. Okay. You're in the office of a magazine that publishes cartoons. You're in the middle of a busy capital city in an early, cold January. And people are going to break in and shoot other people. Okay, and Kieran, which have you got?
Smell.
Smell. I want you to write something that begins, the first line is, this is what I smelled. So that's your first line. Louise, what's yours?
Sight.
This is what I saw. That's your first line.
Emotion.
This is what I felt.
Taste.
Taste. This is what I tasted.
Touch.
This is what I touched.
Hearing.
This is what I heard. So those are your first lines. Now, I'm sending you straight into something that's recent and happening. You comfortable trying it? We'll see how it feels, yeah? And so now you're going to try and imagine what are the you're moving from fact to actually you're now becoming writers of fiction, but see how, explore it and see what you get. And it can be as long or as short as you like. And we're going to start and give you about 10 minutes and see where you get. Anybody want to ask any questions?
Is it one word?
No, now you just use, you've like honed a particular sense, but now you can write how you like. Well, you've been writing like that all the time, Louise, so
Use
yeah.
one word this time.
No, but so not one word, but again, take the note and see how briefly you can do it, okay?
And is this building up to the moment in which people are going to come into this room, or do you want us to take it wherever we want?
Take whatever you want.
Okay.
Choose your moment that you feel as a writer, yeah?
Can I ask one last question?
Yes.
Sorry. And then, so say what I felt, so the emotion, am I taking an emotion from David's, or is it just...
No, I want you to imagine, you know,
How you feel, okay.
yes, he's given you a sort of notion that, I don't know, you have to go imaginatively and think, I'm just scared witless, but just take yourself there and see how it gets.
Yeah.
Okay? And off you go. Choose, and if you've had one of them, the same one, put it back. Okay.
Same one.
Who shuffled these cards? You know.
Grant.
Go ahead.
Okay, and turn them over. Okay, now that was, you can actually recall that because that happened to you, right? Now I'm going to push you to do the next thing, which is okay, this is the scenario. So I suggest you write this down so you can keep referring to it. And I'm going to give you this, and then I'm going to say, are you okay with writing about this? And tell me if you will try it. Okay. You're in the office of a magazine that publishes cartoons. You're in the middle of a busy capital city in an early, cold January. And people are going to break in and shoot other people. Okay, and Kieran, which have you got?
Smell.
Smell. I want you to write something that begins, the first line is, this is what I smelled. So that's your first line. Louise, what's yours?
Sight.
This is what I saw. That's your first line.
Emotion.
This is what I felt.
Taste.
Taste. This is what I tasted.
Touch.
This is what I touched.
Hearing.
This is what I heard. So those are your first lines. Now, I'm sending you straight into something that's recent and happening. Are you comfortable trying it? We'll see how it feels, yeah? And so now you're going to try and imagine what are the you're moving from fact to actually you're now becoming writers of fiction, but see how, explore it and see what you get. And it can be as long or as short as you like. And we're going to start and give you about 10 minutes and see where you get. Anybody want to ask any questions?
Is it one word?
No, now you just use, you've like honed a particular sense, but now you can write how you like. Well, you've been writing like that all the time, Louise, so
Use
yeah.
one word this time.
No, but so not one word, but again, take the note and see how briefly you can do it, okay?
And is this building up to the moment in which people are going to come into this room, or do you want us to take it wherever we want?
Take whatever you want.
Okay.
Choose your moment that you feel as a writer, yeah?
Can I ask one last question?
Yes.
Sorry. And then, so say what I felt, so the emotion, am I taking an emotion from David's, or is it just...
No, I want you to imagine, you know,
How you feel, okay.
yes, he's given you a sort of notion that, I don't know, you have to go imaginatively and think, I'm just scared witless, but just take yourself there and see how it gets.
Yeah.
Okay? And off you go. Welcome back to our writers' workshop. We're all going to give you a nice smile because people say we're looking shy. It's because they're working so hard. Okay, have we all got something?
Yeah.
All right. How are we going to do this? I want you to imagine there's a bare stage. There's six people on stage. We don't know why they're here, but one at a time they're going to tell us. Okay? Does that make sense? And I'm not going to say you. I just want you to choose your moment, kind of agree, yeah? So, in your own time.
I'm happy to read mine out. I just feel it's maybe a tiny bit contentious in places.
We're playwrights.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So can we start that again? Is that that being so, respect for it, and just no more talking. Just when it's you feel it's you want to do it, do it. And if someone butts in, or just try again, because we're now making it a little bit edgy. Yeah. I really like this work, every one of them. Do they feel kind of nice, don't they, for where we get to? But so to sum up, messenger speeches. Find your own games and strategies for making work, because giving yourself harsh rules is very good. It releases art, I think. Look at messenger speeches. Anything where you think, oh, some playwrights are your friends, so look at their texts and find, well, first of all, messenger speeches, but their strategies for releasing story. And that's what I've got. And I think we are about to open up to really hard questions, probably. Thank you. Okay, what I've got first is, as a judge for this year's prize, what will you be looking for in a winning play? I have no idea. The thing is about good work, as we found, I think, tonight, you just kind of can feel it. You know when somebody's kind of hit it, and hopefully out there's at least one and probably 6 or 7 plays that you just think, I will be very disappointed if I don't see this play on stage. So that's the first question. The second one is from Mektab, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, is how do I create atmosphere such as dread, fear, using no dialogue and just one character? You guys can help. I think a lot of the strategies we've tried tonight do that. Always the just imagining where you are and doing the appropriate journey of emotion and movement always works. It's just getting it right. I do another workshop, which is I do a workshop about just writing 1 word per speech, which tells you how to do dialogue very quickly and leaves a lot of space for acting, but also just trying to write something believable that has no dialogue, because there's an awful lot of life that has no dialogue, and if you imagine it and tell it, it works beautiful. This is Twitter from William. I have thousands of ideas at any one point. How do you isolate one, or do you work on lots? The most useful thing I can say here is that try and put 3 of them that seem very disparate together. Do a scene about one of your ideas, and then find another of your ideas that seems to have nothing to do with this, and do a scene, and then a third idea of yours that has nothing to do with the former 2, and do a scene about that. And I bet you even money that something will start happening, and you're thinking, oh, this story is linked to this. And so you've got one story with another story coming in like, you know, a torpedo into the side of your ship. So here I've come back to that metaphor. And something will start happening. Have you got any answers for these people?
I think for William, maybe you could think about which one of the thousands of ideas that you've got, which one is just the most important one.
How does he decide it's the most important?
Oh, is that what?
No, how does he decide?
Well, I think there's several questions that you have to ask yourself as a writer to find out which one is the most important one. Have a look out there and see what's been written, see what audiences are looking at today, what they're watching, you know, what's in form, what's in style, and also pick the one you believe you could be the most creative with, and go all out there.
Great
Just
answer.
to
Yeah.
flip it, I just learning from like what Wills Wilson said about the most rubbish idea being the best one.
Right.
Like you could flip that as well. I think do that, but flip it and go for the one that's the most rubbish idea, the one that you don't, that you think, oh, the definite, that I'll keep that as my number 10 idea if I can't write the other 9. Yeah, go for the rubbish ideas.
Yeah.
So go for your best one, your most rubbish one.
Yeah.
I think they're both really good answers, those.
Mash
Yeah.
them up.
I think to split between the two, actually, I would say never underestimate the power of research and the joy in doing research and playwriting. And you know, sometimes an idea in itself might not seem too good, but when you think about the sort of research you can do to find out more about it, it can become really quite an appealing topic to write about.
What's the best area of research you've gone into?
Genetics. So
Yeah.
genetic memory, things like genetic memory, genetic choice.
So it's true, I find something that I almost can't understand, because if I'm going on that journey, I'm taking everybody. But you could do genetics, that's too hard for me. Any other?
I was just going to say, I think it's the one that you think about most. If you're constantly walking around and everything, you might come up with this and come up with that, but it all seems to come back to that same thing.
It's that
You know,
disobedient brain, isn't
You need
it?
to put
There's
it,
things,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you need to put it down on page and get rid
Yeah.
of it. That's just for me, though, personally.
And honestly, sometimes the two of them, the rubbish idea and the other one, and the research one, does come together and drive you crazy. Any more questions? Then I just want to say thank you very much for coming and trying my schemes. It's been a joy and a privilege to work with you, and I want to see all your work now, but I'm seeing some of you soon, so thank you ever so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you everybody out there for watching us. I hope it's been useful and entertaining, and I hope we smiled long enough. Thank you.